What really happens behind the dazzling spotlight and picture-perfect smiles? For the first time ever, South Korean actress Ye Jin breaks her silence, revealing the hidden pressures of life in the limelight and the emotional journey of caring for her husband Hyun and their precious son Alkong. From the red carpet to quiet moments at home, her story is one of strength, vulnerability, and love. Red Carpet Revealed invites you to step beyond the glamour and discover the truth behind the headlines. Let's dive in. What really happens behind the dazzling spotlight and picture-perfect smiles? For the first time, Ye Jin pulls back the curtain, revealing a world the public has only ever imagined, the weight of fame, the expectations of perfection, and the quiet, intimate life she now leads as a wife to Hyun and a mother to their son, Alkong. It's a story few would expect from one of South Korea's most beloved stars, one filled with quiet struggles, sacred moments, and a redefining of what happiness truly means. She was, for years, the quintessential image of elegance, talent, and composure. From her breakout role in the classic to her undeniable chemistry in Crash Landing on You, Ye Jin captivated millions, not just in Korea but across Asia and beyond. Her screen presence was effortless, her smile luminous, her emotions achingly real. Fans adored her, critics praised her, brands wanted her. And yet, beneath the gloss of her public image, a far more complex truth was quietly unfolding. I've always been grateful for my career, she says in a rare, deeply personal moment. But there were days when I woke up dreading the cameras, days when I wasn't sure who I was without the applause. For someone who seemed to live in the hearts of fans so fully, the reality was lonelier than anyone guessed. Long before she met Hyun, Ye Jin had already been carrying the silent weight of stardom. The red carpets, the interviews, the press tours, they demanded more than just energy. They demanded a version of herself she sometimes had to fabricate. I became good at being who people wanted me to be, she confesses. But when I went home at night, I often felt empty. She talks about the exhausting standards of appearance, the need to be flawless, not just in performances but in real life. There was a period where I couldn't even go to a cafe without worrying about being photographed, she recalls. And when I saw pictures of myself in magazines or online, I'd wonder, who is that woman? Is that really me? There were times when she questioned everything, her career, her identity, even her strength. The pressure wasn't just from the outside. I put a lot of it on myself, she admits. I wanted to be worthy of the love people gave me. But that came with fear, the fear of disappointing them. That fear, quietly tucked behind every graceful pose, became a constant companion. It's only when she met Hyun, on the set of Crash Landing on You, that something shifted. He didn't look at me like an actress, he looked at me like a person, she says simply. That was new. Their love story is now legendary, a slow burn romance that started with shared professionalism and blossomed into something real behind the scenes. He saw the fatigue in my eyes, even when I was smiling, she remembers. And he didn't ask me to be anything other than who I really was. With Hyun, she says, he could finally breathe. Still, even love doesn't erase the scars of years spent under the public eye. As their relationship deepened, so too did her reckoning with the life she had built. Had given her so much, but at a price she no longer wanted to keep paying. There was a moment when I looked at myself in the mirror and thought, I don't recognize this woman anymore. I need to come home to myself. Marriage, for Ye Jin, was not just a romantic milestone. It was a turning point in reclaiming her identity. The wedding, as lavish and stunning as it was, marked something deeper, her first step away from the constant demands of being Ye Jin the actress, and into the quieter, richer world of simply being a woman, a wife, and eventually, a mother. The day I married him, something shifted in me. Felt anchored, like I could finally put my feet on the ground. Shortly after their marriage, couple announced they were expecting a baby, a revelation that brought shock and delight across the internet. But for Ye Jin, it was a far more private emotion, overwhelming love, tangled with fear. I was terrified, she says, smiling softly. Not because I didn't want to be a mother. I did, but because I had no idea who I would become once I was one. As her body changed, so did her soul. The red carpet stopped. The glamour paused, and in its place came the soft rituals of nesting, morning walks, quiet meals, reading baby books, and talking for hours with Hyun Bin about the future. They named their son Alkong, a name filled with tenderness, evoking sweetness, closeness, and the sound of gentle love. He changed everything, she says. In the best way. But even as she fell into the rhythm of motherhood, a shadow of her old life still lingered. The entertainment world doesn't sleep, and neither do its expectations. I got messages asking when I would return to acting, if I had lost my passion, if I was wasting my prime, she says, her expression unreadable. I understood where those questions came from, but they made me realize how we view women, especially women in the spotlight, as though we're only valuable when we're producing, when we're being seen. She pauses. But my most valuable moments now? They're when no one sees me, when it's just me and Alkong, when I'm rocking him to sleep, or watching him laugh at nothing. Son Ye Jin, this season of life is quieter, but no less meaningful. I've had red carpet moments I'll never forget. Standing in front of thousands of fans, winning awards. But nothing compares to the first time Alkong wrapped his hand around my finger. That was the real award. As we move through the next part of her story, into the delicate layers of her life behind the spotlight, her relationship with Hyun Bin, and the deeply personal lessons she's learned as a mother, we begin to see not just a star, but a woman fully awake to who she is. For the first time, she's ready to share that truth with the world. There is a stillness in Son Ye Jin's voice now, an unshakable calm that speaks not of retreat, but of clarity. I don't think I ever knew peace until I chose a life away from the spotlight, she reflects quietly. Not an absence of work, nor a rejection of her craft, but a gentle reprioritizing of what truly matters. Her mornings now begin not with scripts, schedules, or stylists, but with the soft rustle of baby blankets and the half-awake murmur of Alkong's voice. He wakes me with these little sounds, sometimes even before the sun is up, she says, smiling. And somehow, that's the moment my heart feels fullest. After decades of chasing perfection on screen, she finds perfection now in small, imperfect moments. Breakfast with Hyun Bin in the quiet of their kitchen. Watching Alkong's hair, folding tiny socks, listening to lullabies instead of applause. It's like I'm finally allowed to live a life without performing, she says. When asked how it feels to share everyday life with a man admired by millions, she laughs softly. To the world, he's Hyun Bin. To us, he's just that who forgets where he put the baby wipes, she teases. He's thoughtful in a way that isn't loud. When I'm tired, he notices. When I'm anxious, he says nothing, but he'll make tea, or hold my hand until I stop overthinking. Marriage is not made of grand gestures, she insists, but of quiet teamwork. When Alkong was teething, he'd take turns walking him around the house all night, she recalls. At 3 a.m., when your hair is messy and your arms hurt, love doesn't look like flowers. It looks like someone handing you warm water without saying a word. The public rarely sees this side of them, the sleepy-eyed couple who sing off key nursery rhymes or giggle over mismatched pajamas. We chose not to post much, she explains, not because we're hiding, but because we're protecting something sacred. It's hard to nurture something fragile when it's being watched. Becoming a mother has softened her in unexpected ways. I used to measure time by filming schedules, deadlines, premieres. Now I measure it by how many times Alkong laughs in a day, she says. She speaks of his first smile, his fascination with colors, his habit of babbling to birds on the balcony. He's curious about everything, and because of him, so am I again. Still, she is honest about the challenges. Motherhood isn't just joyful, it's humbling, she admits. There were days I cried in the bathroom, being overwhelmed. Days I questioned if I was doing enough, being enough. The strength she once used to command a set, she now channels into the invisible labor of love, late night feeds, soothing fevers, teaching patience to herself more than to her child. And the world doesn't see that, she continues. We celebrate women when they return to work quickly after birth, but not when they choose to stay home. We admire ambition, but we overlook devotion. This carries no resentment, just clarity. This season of my life isn't a pause. Transformation. I'm not less of who I was, I'm becoming more of who I'm meant to be. What does the future look like? She smiles thoughtfully. I won't say I'm retiring. Acting is still in my heart. But I won't rush. I want to return only when I feel inspired, when a story chooses me, not when the market does. She has turned down multiple scripts, she confesses, some of which would have catapulted her back into the global spotlight. The roles were beautiful, she says, but my son is only this small once. I don't want to miss it. Still, she leaves the door open. Maybe one day Alkong will visit me on set. Maybe he'll see me in a role and say, "That's my mom." But for now, I just want him to see me. See me, every day. When asked what she hopes he remembers about these early years, she grows quiet. That he was loved deeply. His parents made space to know him. That he was never a burden, only a gift. And to Hyun, I hope he knows how much I value what we've built, she says. Fame fades, headlines disappear. But this life we're creating, it's real. It's ours. Looking back, she admits there was a time she thought success meant being everywhere, on magazine covers, in box office hits, dominating every award show. Now, she says, success is being fully present with the people I love. It's not applause I want anymore. It's connection. In a world that often demands women to have it all and do it perfectly, Ye Jin's quiet rebellion is in choosing enough. Enough joy, enough love, enough rest. She's no longer chasing anything. She